Hello, welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena, where it is day 2 of the Bankers versus Broncos. This exciting event we have today for you involves both students and staff at Boise State, and we are competing against our friends over the Idaho Central Credit Union in a grand total of 7 different games, where the last 3 from yesterday, we ended up playing Call of Duty, Super Smash Bros, and Valorant, whereas today we have both Halo and then Madden for you. Where in those last couple games, we had a pretty good performance, I would say, but I am your host, Colin McJunkin, and joining me on the desk today is Jacob Jem Palmer. And how are we feeling today? Do you think the Broncos are going to continue our win streak, or do you think ICU has a chance to come back here?
Well, I certainly think they do. When you mentioned Madden's on the docket, we've got Wasey Williams, multiple national championship winner.
Yeah.
It's just been a one-man show completely in Madden, so I pity the person who has to go up against him. Halo is kind of an interesting one, but it's also one that we still have, a varsity team in, or had a varsity team in, and so we have a variety of players who have the experience. It's not like we're just throwing in a bunch of greenhorns. So I would say I would kind of give the advantage to Boise State in both of these games.
Oh, yeah, and I think, we still have, I believe, quite a few returning players from our last season, which ended up being Mountain West champions, I believe Halo was. And so we have Zeke and I believe Mortar that might be in the game. I'm possibly wrong on the Mortar call there, but I know Zeke should be in that game as well. So a very veteran player, a very veteran staff that we have here. So I'm excited to see and, pleasantly surprised by, what Halo should bring to the table for us.
I'm also going to be interested to see what necessarily ICCU brings to the table, because we've seen some key players like in their Call of Duty team. I wonder if Pickle Fork returns, because he's like a very good shooter player, just in general. So anyone that can give the Broncos a run for their money, I'm sure ICCU has in their minds.
Oh, yeah. And just giving a recap, obviously, Bankers versus Broncos here. Day 1, we already covered Call of Duty. We ended up taking a pretty big loss there, but however, Smash and Valorant, we ended up taking those W's. So on that day, 2-1 for the Broncos, and day 2, we're covering Halo, Madden, Rocket League, and Overwatch. However, though, as of right now, we're covering Halo and Madden, and, we don't like biannual, so we made it triannual clash. So give it a bit of that.
Yeah, it's something that we do multiple times a year. This is the second of 2022. The first one of 2022, the ICCU kind of completely swept. But the Broncos are looking to come back. They're already leading 2-1 as we head into day number 2 of this. And I think they got some keys to help them keep performing well.
Oh, yeah, and those are keys. We have Doc's keys to the games, where it's focus on your comms, find weakness, think outside the box, and use your team pride. We covered those yesterday. However, though, obviously, it's very important to have your comms there. Finding weaknesses is always a big advantage in your team. And thinking outside the box is something not a lot of players do when they're heat of the moment of the game, especially when you're competing for pride like we are today. However, though, that player that's able to step outside the moment and kind of analyze the situation as it goes might find themselves a better advantage than the others.
All right, it looks like we're going to head into our first match.
Alrighty, yes. So we do have Reality, the True Mortar, Zeke, and Utoxico, which I believe is a brand new addition to the Halo Valorant team. Just got signed on by this semester. Signed on. Where are they going?
Looks like Boise State is going to be rotating over to A to capture that for themselves. The exchange is going to go in favor of the Mortar, already picking up one. In fact, ICCU's down to just 1 left.
There we go, 3 and 4. And there we go, there's that victory, I believe.
It looks like we might have had a connection issue, actually. So
yeah. This should just be a short little reset for us.
Yeah, just the nature of it.
So yeah, we saw those 4 players for Boise State that was going into there. I believe I did not see any familiar names on the side of ICCU in terms of players that should be kind of a threat to us.
Pickle Fork was back. That was the main one I think a lot of their COD team actually is just probably going to run it back. I mean, they've got 4 players for their COD team, 4 players for their Halo team.
So yeah, actually, we do have Pickle Fork. We do have Doughboy being Twister and jumping on Badillo. And GTG, so it looks like we might have a little switch going in here for these players. Already Zeke picking up that sniper rifle. deadly weapon in this game. One-shot headshot is accurate from the hip. Real fun to use in Halo.
Stronghold captured.
Already, Boise State struggling a little. 2 of the strongholds are held by ICCU. Boise State is ready to rotate over to A. Already going to pick up 2 onto ICCU as they rotate over back to A. Going to be moving to B, excuse me, ICCU holds 2.
Stronghold is the name of the game, which is the idea that, you know, you're holding 3 different points that are on the objective, and there is a little bit of rotation as Zeke just gets absolutely nated out of his mind. A little bit of a battle going on in the middle. That's 4 the ICCU players taking down 2. I believe 3 actually of Boise State's very own. And Boise State still holds 2 of the points though, which you have to hold 2 or more in order to be gaining points in this objective. So it's going to be very dependent on how Boise State is going to rotate.
True Mortar doing some work here, picking up a double. Finishing on to GTG, Boise State now moving to capture all the strongholds. They're going to increase their points just a little, moving past 30.
It's going to be crashing down on A. Reality going in, but Reality's going to be taken down by GTG. Right there, and Dobo's going to take out Toxico, which is our new player. But 2 trade-outs come from Zeke and True Mortar.
Stronghold captured.
Oh, but that's all 3 strongholds in favor of the Broncos. ICCU is moving to capture back C. Still with 2 in their possession. Boise State is still going to run up the score.
Taking the fight on the high ground's not going to work out in the way for Reality. Definitely not the position you want to find yourself there. C is definitely, in my opinion, a very strong point hold to hold. In my opinion, I'd be rotating between C and B and kind of leave A alone. A can get pretty hectic. It's just nade spam and everything else like that. Sorry, the True Mortar picking up 1 and the Reality following up the 2nd. Boise State holding a lot of map control here.
It seems both teams really just trying to maintain these central positions like Overlook, just trying to literally overlook the points. Yeah. Like Green, Overlook, and Tower seem to be the main places where we're seeing the main teams trying to set up, trying to use that high ground to their advantage, and just keep an eye over every single stronghold.
It's important. Giving up that high ground can sort of set the sort of balance here.
Mortar doing work so far. He's already up to 7 on this KDA.
Maybe a little bounce back.
Further more as Zeke takes out Twinster.
It's really on Reality right now. Reality gonna get the assist on 1. There's True Mortar.
Cobra team half victory.
He's a shotgun. That hardpoint weapons are so fun to use and just so devastating, but they are limited. The point of them being map and pickups.
Stronghold captured.
I wouldn't tell him that right now. I mean, he's picked up 2. He hasn't used the default at all. Going to bring out the heat wave again, but it looks like we're going to leave him back to someone who actually has the default weapon and is just going to continue firing on C. The only stronghold that ICCU has in their territory right now, Boise State has just been getting point after point. Quick melee onto Pickle Fort. Boise State's going to take that 3rd stronghold again.
The disrespect there. 11 points to ICCU's name. That is not exactly the way they want to be going here. Every time they just take a fight, they end up losing in an overall match, which ends up resetting the spawns. And here we have Reality getting a bump using the repulsor. Gets 1, might find the 2nd. A little bit of team fire there, doesn't matter. Just like that, 3 people from ICCU are just down.
This is a risky situation also for Pickle Fort to be taking. He's just taking them all out at once, and it's just going to be a matter of time before Mortar takes him out, and the stagger continues on to ICCU. Boise State is just unstoppable right now, not losing anything.
Spamming the crouch button will not help you in Halo, especially when these players have controllers with aim assist. So not the smartest idea, but points for the effort.
Boise State might not need to put in that much effort because they only have 20 points before they have claimed this. It's really kind of the inverse in what we saw in the COD match, you know, it's 250 to just 100. But Boise State has now outstripped what ICCU managed to do in COD. Probably going to end at 250 to 12, which is just an insane landslide. And also...
And that, wow, the stick with the grenade is just really disrespectful. And here with the True Mortar taking on 3 of the ICCU head forward. Ooh, does get meleeed out. This is the first time ICCU's actually held 2 of the points.
And it's their last
gaining point.
It's going to have to be all the way through here. If they lose just one of them, Boise State is just knocking on victory's door. Quick melee onto Pickle Fort. Should help Boise State move over to C. As Reality also takes out Billboard. There's just one left here on tower. He's going to be knocked out. Boise State taking back both strongholds. Although C is all they need, looking like they're focusing on A.
Stronghold capture.
It looks like they're battling B anyway, so they're not going to get any points from this being contested. 2-1 B here.
Captured.
With just Reality there. And as we see, just scoreboard-wise, scoreboard check, the True Mortar with 17 kills and only 4 deaths, 8 assists.
Stronghold captured.
Definitely a key player to look out from this point on.
But we're going to have to look out for him in the next match because Boise State has already reached their limit. 250 to 31, making a statement in Halo. They are not going to be unseated. They want to go to 3-1, just run the table tonight.
They definitely controlled the entirety of that match. And, you know, that kind of reminds me, we were talking about the absolute polarity between Call of Duty and Halo. And I do remember mentioning at one point that we do have a Halo varsity team, which is a lot different than just kind of the 2 Rocket League players and the 1 Madden player that we had going up there. So I feel we can see the night and day difference between the 2 teams. So already, I mean, we can see where ICCU's strong suit was and where Boise State's strong suit was.
Well, and also what were we talking about back when we were playing COD yesterday is the fact that it just having more experience with the game, especially being able to know where everything is, where all the sight lines are, where you want to set up. It was very apparent in Vanguard that ICCU knew every single stage, knew where to set up. Boise State was just getting shot in the back, left and right, and so many flanks were coming out. But now that they're playing in an official varsity event that these players play for to get scholarships.
Oh, yeah.
You can bet they know every single inch of the stages here, including this stage coming up. We're going on to Streets for Oddball.
And Oddball is always a fun one to see because Oddball is purely just, hey, one person gets the ball, hides in a little bit of a corner, kind of, sort of. But as you can see, just a little bit of walkthrough of Streets we have. This area right here that specifically the camera's following through is a very popular area to hold the Oddball. And just to kind of tuck yourself in a corner, the only thing that I don't really like about Streets and just Oddball in general is the absolute nade spam you will experience in this map. It is insane that you feel like it's dumped on you, especially if you're the Oddball carrier. So
a lot of explosive weapons can really do extreme damage on this map because you're seeing, like right here with all these vantage points and lookouts into these low-lying city streets. It could be a nade, or if you pick up rocket launcher, I mean, you are not having a good time.
Which it should be. Yeah, it should be the rocket launcher that spawns in the middle there. And I think that's the point I want to bring up as well is just, do you remember seeing ICCU players with a single power weapon at all during the entire match? It was Boise State that controlled that.
That is true.
The
Boise
entire
State
time.
Sometimes had double power weapons. You know, normally when you see 2 teams that are kind of experienced in Halo, the most you see, you know, that the best someone can get is just 1 power weapon. But Boise State was just going all over the place. I think we saw a showcase of every single power weapon you can get in the hands of Boise State. They had the Needler, Heatwave, Sniper. Everything was in their favor.
Everything about that match was in their favor. So in a best of 5, Streets is that second match. Recharge should be the third one going in here, but that's if Boise State can hold on. Not really hold on, keep their domination going. So with the least, we'll see.
I think the real question is we got to bet on how many points ICCU is going to get.
Oh, yeah. Which, I mean, I feel like Control Point was a good example to point that they might have some trouble with maintaining the control of the Oddball.
Boise State moving in toward power weapon immediately, and ICCU is going to make them pay for that. Gets taken out, though, as Boise State trades back. Doughboy is also going to fall. That might open it up for Mortar here, but Mortar's just going to hang back, swap over to Commando, try to exchange fire with Twinster, but ICCU winning that.
I was surprised Mortar actually pulled out the Commando as well. Not a lot of people like that weapon in the favor, so compared to the Battle Rifle. But already, nobody's picked up the Oddball yet, which shows that no team is certain with and comfortable with their position yet to really pick it up and move forward. So it'll be interesting to see what team Twister's going to get that knock right onto Zeke.
Really, in Main Street, we've had a lot of even one-on-ones. It seems like that's the main thing that's improved since we were looking at live fire. Is ICCU is actually winning a good number of these one-on-ones. It seems pretty darn even. Take a look over here into the Bulldog. He's just going to re-heal, get back up to his full shield. Now try to move in with the Bulldog, try to take out one from ICCU. Not going to find it, so he just throws out the nade. I don't think he realizes there are two here. Or actually, he does. He just takes them on. All at one time. Reality making plays. Triple. Quad. Okay, well that's, you got them all. Congrats.
That's an ace right there.
That
if it's in
indeed.
Halo. My goodness. And going for more as well. Jeez. Reality is just going insane here.
And here again is what we were talking about. We see the double power up
Oh
loadout. Bulldogs now back over to the Stalker. He's on a 6 streak now.
And is gonna get the rocket
Baker. What in the face? The disrespect.
Knows there's somebody else here. Ooh. The streak is gonna end there for Reality. But surely put up a little bit of domination points for Boise State going there. Boise State holds the oddball now. Just going over 30 points now.
You think for all that action, it still isn't the biggest lead Boise State has built up. In fact, they're going to be dropping the oddball as Mortar is also taking out GTG, making the plays, trying to move it to a safe location, but he's going to take some fire immediately, forcing him to take cover.
GTG definitely seems a lot more stable and confident as a player here going into that. I mean, the game IQ definitely showed out there, throwing the oddball out of the way and out of harm's danger to potentially give a teammate a chance to pick it up. ICU's mentality and gameplay style has definitely changed for the better. Like you said, they're holding their own in most of the gunfights they take.
And he's going to trade 2-2 as well, so both teams, the ICC downs to their last. It's GTG who's really kind of been making the plays. And Pickle Fork, I'm actually most surprised only has 1 kill, you know, with how much he was dominating in COD. You know, I know it's a very different game than Halo, but I would have expected just a little bit more here.
A little bit of the FPS transferability can change, but there isn't as much mobility as there is in... Oh! Ivy going for the double. Doesn't quite connect, though. Does get Zeke, though. He's going to fall back. Nice sniper. Going to hold the vantage point here. It's just going to keep getting pushed back, though. Not able to really evade these Boise State attackers.
Boise State just kind of zoning out the area around the oddball. Pickle Fork's going to fall again.
Cobra team
They grab the oddball and have gone halfway towards victory, so they just need to get it to 100. We'll see how much charge they can get out of this one. As the next team fight comes through for ICCU.
And it is that best of 3, so losing this one is not exactly... Oh, wow! Woo. Might pick up the second. Not going to get it for Mortar, though.
Ball taken.
Boise State does drop the ball, though, so there is a potential that ICU picks this up.
The problem is that they're running out of time really fast here. We're down to 145. Basically going to have to hold the oddball for just more than half, basically, of the remaining time. And it's a really hard task to ask of them.
Ooh. Oh, I thought that nade picked up. It did not, though. The ball still hasn't been picked up, which is interesting for me. I think at this point, even
very concerning.
Even at this point, I think you're just going for whatever points you can kind of get and getting the ball away from Boise State, so to speak. Zeke not going to find one. That means ICU is going to pick up 2 now.
This is their chance. They have to grab the oddball right now if they want to have any chance of overtaking Boise State, but quickly, True Mortar is going to find him in the back and now just guard the oddball, gets taken out by the Spanker. Boise State now going to have to stop ICCU, who probably has just enough time, but barely to maybe meet Boise State's score.
They're going to have the nade spam, though. I don't believe the Spanker is completely out of play here. It might be, though. Charging in, that means Mortar is going to pick up 1.
Yeah, I think that does it. That successful team fight, basically, for Boise State means that they have the oddball. They can even close it out now. Position themselves on the balcony of the police station here.
They're going to have to stop them now, because before you know it, the points start racking up, and then they're at 90, and then they're at 100, and then it's game point for you. You never want to be in that situation, but it does look like the spike, not spike, it does look like the oddball is going to be put down. Reality feeling a little uncomfortable with the situation then.
I mean, at this point, I think they would have to drive it into overtime. Quick shot there with the spanker. Also, Reality being eliminated and traded back by Zeke. At this point, if it's still just 1v1 Trace, then that should work out to a Bronco victory, and they could close it out right here and now.
Oh, 5 points away from winning it all. Sitting in this room is asking it to be spammed with nades, so perhaps moving out of it might be the best choice for ICCU. And getting caught out above, not able to drop it quick enough. Charles going to take it, but pick it up and get immediately melee traded there. Now it's Doughboy with the ball.
30 seconds left. Boise State just needs to take it away from them for a few seconds, and they got it.
Yeah, they just need to push in there as a 4-man squad and just start chucking nades in and go in as unison as you can.
Reality falls thanks to Twinster. Toxico bike nades to take him. Drops the oddball. Boise State can just win it right now by picking it up. That's going to be the case.
That was a lot drawn. That was a bigger drawn-out match than I thought it was going to be. I thought Boise State was going to show the same little dominance we did the first time around, but that was not the case.
Yeah, it seems like ICCU is definitely warming up, and the fact that they kind of get to run it back and play oddball a second time. Maybe they get just a little bit more feel on how the mode should go, have some time to reflect. I'll be very curious to see how much ICCU is improving, because we're seeing an upward trend from them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. From that first game, that was a significant improvement in just the way that they're playing, how they're playing as a team, just a lot more common and in unison with each other. So I'm a little more excited how they're going to deal with it. The one thing Okay, so I am getting an update there, but so
the game crashed.
Yes, the game crashed.
which basically means we do have the replay, so that is just going to be called for Boise State. They did win the second round of that, so that means we move on to the third round, which is going to be Slayer.
Which is going to be Slayer on Recharge, which Recharge is a fan favorite, I should say. A lot of people like Recharge. Recharge has a lot of open space, but also has that close quarters fight that a lot of people are looking for. Truly reminiscent of a COD map, in my opinion, just on a much smaller scale. But seeing from what Oddball is and seeing that now Boise is in a match point series to take Halo, I'm thinking that this is the chance for ICCU to come back. Slayer is the most basic game mode you can put this game to. It is simply just winning your 1v1s and getting points, which means eliminating.
And ICCU, what's the one thing they've been improving in most of all is their one-on-ones.
Is their one-on-ones. Getting those eliminations onto Boise State players, they've been on par with that.
This is also what we were just seeing here, why I like Recharge so much. The section of the stage we were just highlighting. I love the environmentals on this one.
Yeah, it is quite fun, and especially if you get the repulsor, if you get that ability charge, which I don't know if it spawns on here, but I do know on that little ledge right there, either a gravity hammer or energy sword will spawn, which will probably be an energy sword. And baiting people into following you there is one of the funnest things ever, because there's those clips where you just jump off and you body block the person, and they just fall right down, and it's just the most hilarious thing ever.
Well, we're going to get into a Slayer. Boise State just one away. We also have the active camo, too. I wonder how cheeky Boise State might get with that. Trying to hide from everyone else, but they're opening up with a 1 on the board. And ICCU, well, they're trying. They're kind of jumping between the high ground.
Does get one on Zeke, so they're pretty even right now. 4-1 is the early lead, but not just quickly before the Mordor gets taken down.
See Toxico, Picklefort gonna bite it thanks to Zeke. Throwing out a nade. Zeke looking to continue on his streak. Looks like he might have gotten a little bit of chip damage there.
The shock rifle is an interesting weapon to want to take into close quarters. This is reality. You have to feel pretty confident with your ability to hit these hip shots on some fast-moving targets. They're all kind of just sitting in this one area. It tells me they're a little unconfident with their positioning.
Oh, there's that one.
Might go for second. Not going to get it, though. Doughboy's going to take out the reality.
Isn't even going to get the engagement he's looking for. Oh, wow. Just manages. They're actually trying to pinch him in. He takes out Twinster. Doughboy is also going to fall. Boise State has opened up nearly a 10-kill lead onto ICCU.
I just want to highlight the True Mortars kind of big brain game sense there. Not only shot the grenades to potentially get the splash damage on the opponent that he was chasing, but the hearing ability and radar to just see the enemy and just instantly flick around to push out, which I believe allowed his teammates to follow up on that kill.
True Mortar taking out Pickle Fork with a headshot. Boise State unstoppable, now opening up their lead to 12. They're showing no signs of stopping, and 7 tells me that they're going to end this before it just gets decided on time. I think they're going all the way to 50.
Zeke is taking out the grenade though, and True Mortar is just completely in their faces, not before being taken out. Dodge goes going to get caught, and there's that camouflage you mentioned before. So it's time to see how cheeky Boise State can get with this. Are they going to play the long run or long distance snipe with this shock rifle, or are they going to try and do something with the camouflage? Nobody doing anything yet, just trading back and forth with some shots.
Reality is waiting for it. There he finds it, though. It's a snipe. Boise State now up to 20. 40% of the way there. Another one's going to fall. Doughboy and Pickle Fork. True Mortar forming a tag team to keep Boise in the lead. And there goes all of them. All of them fell.
All of them are just, they're just slowly spawned back at the back of the map. Roll the True Mortar and know somebody's behind. Gets the plasma grenades. Oh, he's gonna a little jump. Gonna grapple out of there, out of that situation. Puts himself a little bit of harm's way. Not before Reality's gonna pick up the kill. Pickle Fork. There's that energy sword I was talking about. Will they go for it? Camera switches. Reality now with the possibility to jump by 2 of ICCU's players. Oh, the trade. The melee trade with the grapple coming out.
If everything was just a trade from here on out, though, Boise State would definitely take that. That would just eventually push them towards a win. Is this going to get the flank on him? This is the shot! The shock rifle, and that is going to... Maybe it's just engagements like that that could sneak up on Boise State, but Mortar doing cleanup work.
The shock rifle, in my opinion, is just not an amazing weapon to take in that close quarters fight there. But I think trying to put a little style points on it. Pinching 2 ICCU, gets 1 on Reality, and the Mortar's going to pick up the second one. Now this puts them just 19 points away from closing out the series here.
Quick reload and a back. Still not showing any interest in that energy sword. It seems like they're more than content to just stick on the battle rifle and take these 1v1s.
Which might be better than stick to what you're confident with, stick to what you know you can end up getting a kill with. Ooh, that shock rifle killed it. Weirdly connected, but did not get the kill. That was because it was a body shot.
Yeah, Reality seems to be the one who's sticking with kind of the long-range snipes. Well, the rest of the Broncos are more than content to get a little bit more close quarters.
Yeah, the active camouflage, you know, nobody's going to really go for it. Or actually, as I said, Zeke's going to pick it up, but kind of what Boise State's willing to put into using it. Zeke, as we can see in the distance, getting put in a 2v1. Use the camouflage to get away. Now it's back up from Mordor. They try 2v1 low on shields. I can quite see Zeke is going to pick up the kill, though. Not before Doughboy trades out, and Reality is going to get the secondary trade. 37-14 here. Quite a dominant performance coming out from Boise State, once again.
Now back to where we've just basically seen them hang out. Center of the map, just trying to find some flanks onto ICCU, and I think True Mortar has one right here. He's just going to get him right in the back, actually try to take him out with the nade. And finally gets him with the melee. Almost paid for that one.
It would have been much cooler if you got that stick and then flicked over, but unfortunately didn't get it. Plasma grenade's kind of hard to get that stick on with it. Definitely a little bit of a luck factor in there.
Now Boise State is just 9 off from winning and closing this out. True Mortar's going to send out a few pings before he takes out Twinster. Moving on to Doughboy.
Oh. GTG. Falling up quickly, running away, getting away from Doxico. Oh, he gets caught camping in the corner. Oh, no.
No camping allowed here. No, this is a fast, mobile game that Boise State is looking to play. Taking him
4 points. Now down to 3. Over for Zeke, only trying to get a snipe there. Partnered up a Reality, gonna try and double team here. He's gonna realize situations not that great for him. Oh, is gonna get the trade though. This means 2 points away for Boise State, which most likely means this is gonna be the end for ICCU here. Just
gotta wait for the shields to come back online. Mortar now with a tag team on reality. Yeah, I think that's what does it for them. Boise State sweeps 3-0.
You know, that's kind of what you're expecting to see from Boise State varsity team here. You know, 2 varsity players with such a level of 3, I believe, actually, with such a level of skill. It's so hard to go against, you know, Mountain West champions, I might add. Just, you know what you're going to go into. But as a proud sponsor, the Idaho Army National Guard. No, it's actually going to be Boise State. And as always, just looking for Boise State Esports is always looking for more members, both in production and in our varsity teams, and as well just as club members. So if you like to seek out an opportunity with production, go ahead and look us up either on Twitter or Instagram at Boise State Esports. And if you're interested, take a look at it. We're having great fun here on the desk, and as always, production is always a great job to get into.
That's right. Top talent along with good grades and eligibility increases your chances as well. So always an opportunity to join the Broncos. Well, now Broncos are 3-1 overall in the game count, which is such a great improvement from last time. This is a lot more like it. The Broncos that I like to see.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what we're looking for. A huge momentum shift in terms of what last year. We only took 2 games so far, and now we're moving on to 3, which I might add what we said before. The person going against Wasey and Madden, I feel truly sorry about you. I mean, this dude is so freaking good at the game. But I'm excited to see what he's going to go up with and come up with here today, especially with Madden 23, a still relatively new game as well in terms of the Madden sphere.
Yep, new games, new teams, new lineups. All I can say is let's ride.
Oh, yeah. And before we go on to that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick short break here, as long as we give our players a break and let us set up. So stick around, and we're going to see you back when we're back with Madden.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
just to be where you are. In a world I can see where you are, though you are meant to be. Wish you're here next to me. Where you dream just to be where you are. In a world I can see where you are, though you are meant to be. Wish you're here next to me. Where you are.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. You're watching our in-arena event, the Bankers versus Broncos, day number 2. We have an exciting event with youth, whereas the students and staff of Boise State University are competing against our friends over at Idaho Credit Union in a total of 7 different games. The last 4, which we've been playing throughout, which were, I believe, currently blanking on them. Wow. Valorant?
Valorant, Smash, Call of Duty, and then just Halo. And we've won in all of them except for Call of Duty.
Except for Call of Duty, which we are excitedly going on to Rocket League. So,
oh, boy. I hear Durtho's playing this.
Yes.
And
I believe Gil.
Yeah, Durtho.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Durtho
I guess
Gil.
we're just not holding back anything this match.
We took last semester very personally. You know, I believe actually last semester we did not have a single varsity player on the rosters of any of the teams that any of the teams of the games that we played. So it's very interesting to see that we now are coming with a very stacked roster. I believe Call of Duty is the only one where we don't have a dedicated varsity player for that sport or esport on that team. So
yeah, and it kind of showed.
Yeah, it did very much show. But ever since, Boise State's been picking up track. ICU hasn't been quite able to catch up yet. So I'm excited to see Rocket League. Personally, I was a player that played on the team for last time. But clearly, I could have needed Doc's keys of the game, which are going to be for in Rocket League, create mistakes, punish the double commit, don't overstay, and bump the opponents to disrupt. So obviously, those are some key fundamental basics that we have to Rocket League. And those are brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, which is the proud premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches, tournaments. Whether you're in the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming is the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive journey, sign up at dropingaming.com.
So this is our matchup. Boise State taking on ICCU in Rocket League. Boise State sitting at 3 victories. So technically, if we were counting, this would be sort of tournament point, if you will. But, of course, we will play out all 7 games just for good sportsmanship. But Boise State is looking to, for sure, definitely, if they win here, get the majority of the wins in the Bankers versus Broncos rematch. And I also hear that things might be a little bit different this time. It's not just the standard Rocket League we're used to.
And we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. We have a little bit of sneak peek as casters, but we're going to wait to really introduce that to you guys when we get into game. I think it'll be an interesting and exciting new addition to how we're going to play Rocket League, especially against ICCU. 2 of those, I'm really excited to see how it's going to turn out for us. And once again, though, with Durtho and Gil against their, it's the same thing. Same premise we had with Wacy, right? I mean, I just I feel bad for it. But, I believe it was ICU had a pretty strong player on their team. So I'm excited to see if that player will return to us going to the Rocket League team. When I took a look at the roster, I don't remember it. I don't remember being there. So I'm a little excited to see where he goes.
Well, if I remember, you were talking about, the roster last time. I do believe there was 1 varsity player on there, or if it wasn't, it was someone using his account. But now it's quite different. We have the full theming going on. I like this, the blue and the green, and Hoosh rushing in. And Hoosh is also a varsity player, so this is a 3 varsity player lineup.
3-stack varsity player lineup, which Hoosh is actually a new player we just committed to Boise State. So it's very exciting to see this combo, because I have not personally seen this combo out of the 3 players. Just like that, Durtho out in the air, getting a double tap just right over the crossboard. My goodness.
Yeah, this is exactly what you expect to see from Durtho. He loves these aerial plays, coming in at the angle, using the backboard himself and being his own follow-up. He's very skilled in terms of those solo plays.
Just an absolute, and just right off the bat. This is most likely a speed flip.
This is going to be one of those games, I can tell.
Yep. There comes out the speed flip, and unfortunately against the unsuspecting ICCU player, that's going to be quite the shock, where the ball is hit before you even got there.
Kickoff kind of kind of a draw. Vidurtho redirects it for Hoosh to take control. Liquidity is going to steal it away from him, trying to move up the field, but Baynok steals it away. Going to leave it for Durtho. Gets a double tap, shot wide off into the corner. Jumping with a shot that's quickly redirected by Hoosh. A bit of fighting in mid for control of the ball. Off of the wall, into the corner. And ICCU not setting themselves up for a goal, instead being forced back to middle.
There's Hoosh already. Right back on the ball. Durtho now has a potential shot just off the backboard though. Baynok with the pass. So there's actually, it's okay. So it's Baynok, not Gil. That's my mistake. Which most recently Baynok and Hoosh did play in the tournament, so they are pretty common with each other. But Baynok getting the pass, not quite able to connect with Hoosh. Looks like Durtho's going to go for a setup, most likely off the ceiling. Doesn't go for it. Getting a 50, sending it to the other corner. Hoosh will mostly try to get a pinch, doesn't get it, and Liquidity now clearing it off. Baynok might have the touch, going to leave it for Durtho. Going to take it up, gets bumped off the play though.
Baynok setting himself up for a shot just over the field of, I believe that was, yeah, Frisky trying to defend. Unfortunately, just not able to time it. Very hard to get it if you're trying to defend from the front post like that and you're just chasing it. So Boise State now up to 3-0 and unstoppable.
3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game, yeah. I mean, but what do you expect? I mean, this is Durtho with a very big presence, and even if Durtho's not really connecting on the play itself, and there's going to be Baynok with another just small little tap into the net, enough for Hoosh to get a bump and just cause some absolute disruption in their net. Nobody quite able to recover fast enough to stop that from being scored.
Boise State is just taking no prisoners whatsoever. Another kickoff in favor of the Broncos. Frisky answers it. Hoosh with the pass over to Baynok. He's going to leave it for Durtho. Jumping wins that 50. Baynok is still there to play some solid defense. Liquidity is moving in, and hey, we actually have you actually saw we have some photos for ICCU as well in the loadout.
There's one photo, which Frisky and Jumping Armadillo are both were both in a couple of tournament games for us in a Valorant and Call of Duty, I believe. So exciting to see them back here with some Rocket League experience.
Frisky definitely seems to be the one trying to set up the place for ICCU. Jumping's going to wait, Liquidity to elevate up, gets a tap on it, but it's not a perfect redirect. So it heads back to Boise State's corner. A demo onto Baynok in mid, but Hoosh just might play it himself. Actually, he's going to try to clear out the goal as Durtho pushes it back to center. Baynok's too far back for the pass, but there he recovers, and Durtho will try to shoot it down into the goal. Is not going to find it. Boise State, though, still not a lot to worry about, 4-0.
Oh, but a 50 come out for Frisky. Not going to last long when Baynok comes in to clear up. Hoosh with the shot on net is going to get it perfect into the corner that none of the defenders are looking forward to. And that's just the perfect cross-net shot right there. Coming out from Hoosh. Sitting on the net, just hesitates there just for that second. And just hesitating for 1 second is danger when it comes to Rocket League. 5-0 here for ICCU. 2 minutes, sub 2 minutes here for you.
Yeah, it's a tall task to try to get that many goals in that time frame, and especially with that steal that Baynok pulled off. He's going to set it up again. A whiff from Hoosh, but it's not really going to be that consequential, especially if Durtho is your follow-up. He plays it himself, a triple tap into the goal, picking up a hat trick as well.
Just sets himself up there perfectly, gets the first touch. The second touch was an absolute devastating touch. Nobody on ICU, I believe, is able to recover that. Just, you have to be up there on the backboard in order to counter that.
Durtho's basically completely filled up his activity feed. Baynok now looking to make a play. Is actually going to leave it for Durtho. It's off the crossbar, and Hoosh unable to follow up. It's a chance for Liquidity to try to make a play. He goes off the wall, redirecting to waterfall it down into the goal. Doesn't find it. Touch from Hoosh, back over. In fact, between all three players, they're passing it back and forth between each other. It's just going to trickle in, with Baynok actually getting the final tap.
This almost three-player pass is pretty incredible. If that pass down to Durtho would have worked out for Hoosh, that would have been an amazing play. But Baynok is there to recover and just clean it up. And now 7-0, an absolute dominating performance coming out from BSU. But you know, once again, same thing as the Halo event. What do you expect from an all varsity roster here?
Oh, it almost just slips in again for Boise State's 8th goal. I wouldn't be surprised if Doc is behind the scenes right now putting some artificial handicap onto Boise State here.
Yeah. Doc does have a way of making his players work for it. Hey, with this first goal coming out from ICCU, I don't think it's much of a tall task for them to come back. It's quite a mountain-like task for them to make it. But what this does set up for is a Brazil. You saw in chat, not the Brazil, but actually all it takes is Boise State to get this one goal here.
Off the kickoff, ICCU gets the better, is going to set themselves up for a goal, but a quick play by Hoosh pushes it back to mid. Liquidity back to Baynock. Now Hoosh is going to try to clear out the goal. Often players are actually told at this point that they have to get a goal in a specific way. They have to bump, set, and spike. So that's the only way they can get a goal from here on out.
A little bit of volleyball terms coming out here, which that just basically means, you know, you're going to have the 3-touch. Each player has to get a touch on the ball before you can score a goal, or else it will not count in their terms. They got 2. Ooh, well, Dirtho gets the touch, and Hoosh with the absolute big brain bump there. The pass from Dirtho to Hoosh back to Baynock, and that just lets Dirtho just get this.
I don't know. The ball did hit the ground between Hoosh and Baynock, so technically, I would say it has to stay airborne between
you would say
the 3 players.
airborne? Okay.
You know, I have a feeling that's what Doc would want, the more stringent rules being set onto the Broncos. You gotta rise to the event, the occasion.
Oh, yeah. It's all about making it so harder. Finishing out with an 8-1 of that first match. It's quite the dominating performance, as you can just see. The amount of accolades.
Yeah, that's
the percentage on everything is just blue. You see more blue than anything.
I do appreciate the custom colors. Like every time we see that in Rocket League, I wish for all the life of me, I know for many collegiate tournaments it's the standard blue and orange, but man, if there's just one thing, especially in the collegiate scene where each university has their own signature colors, it would just be so great to see that. But I'm just going to have to settle for it here. Which
it's the sweaty mentality. It's the same thing with all the plain cars, right? It's another level of sweat. But yes, I do also appreciate the unique colors coming out here. It adds a little bit of different vibe for Rocket League, which we normally don't see or are accustomed to.
And speaking of a different vibe, we might be seeing very soon what the new kind of different play style that Boise State is going to bring out. I can imagine as this match goes onward and Boise State kind of cruises more and more toward victory, I think more and more wrenches are going to be thrown into the equation to just mix things up.
Level the playing field as a sense, and also to make it a little more interesting for Boise State side. I mean, it's not a little fun to see, you know, your hand tied behind your back and see what you can do with it, right?
We'll see if ICCU can improve. I mean, I think the main thing is Boise State is just outplaying them in the air so much. The only goal ICCU got was just kind of a tap from ground into goal, just kind of redirecting it slightly so it trickled in. Whereas Boise State is just, I mean, Dirtho is insane. The triple touch goals. He can do it all on his own as we head into the second round. This actually seems like a differently shaped arena.
This is a you could call it a wider arena. Is to make it just the first simple terms.
I mean, it doesn't matter what shape it is, Dirtho's still going to play. Gets the first goal and is sending Boise State off. But if you're looking at the specific shape this is, I believe I see 8 fantastic sides and 8 awesome angles. We are indeed playing on an octagon for this second match.
Just the size difference here in the map alone is already, and already that was Liquidy just getting his own little double attach there. Jumping over Doe, not quite able to get the clear on there. Baynock might have a shot. Jumping, play on the backboard, not able to get it. That means Baynock might get a shot. Not going to be able to connect with it too much. Now Dirtho has it. Mike at the second isn't quite able to get there. I believe that was Liquidy that was able. From the ceiling, might be comfortable with it. Not going to get quite close to getting it in there. That angle would have been absolutely insane if that didn't connect it.
Ball set up right in front of ICCU's goal as both Boise State players go whipping past it. The goal is left open and Liquidity is going to score on it, leaving it at tied for Boise State and ICCU. So a great breakaway shot, sees his opportunity to score on the over-rotation, and he finds it. As we move in toward the next kickoff, it's right in the center. Baynock stays behind, cheated out. Now moving slightly more toward ICCU's goal. Hoosh is hanging back, waiting for the angle. It doesn't come to him, so it's going to fly back over toward the center. So 50 doesn't go in favor of either one. So Durtho's going to have to play some defense against Jumpy and is able to take it away from him.
Jumping almost got that 50 there. Durtho with a shot down. Nobody quite able to rotate back into the net to successfully block that. So a little bit of a bump in the road for ICCU, but you know, I believe it's only 2-0 and a lot of game left to play. So ICCU still playing a little better than what it was last match. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table here.
Next kickoff is going to be in favor of Frisky. Durtho quickly answers it. He's going to leave it for Hoosh.
Oh.
Sets it up, might try to dunk it down. The angle isn't there. Baynock looking to crowd against Liquidity. They're going to play off of the wall, move it down toward the goal. Can they follow up? Shot is just high and wide, almost a dunk into the goal by Frisky. Nice opportunity. They're not going to find their goal.
Off the backboard now, gets the setup for Baynock. Baynock is going to be up in the air, absolutely ready for this. Quite the shot down for them. And once again, just how fast the momentum changes for ICCU and the preparedness that Boise State has. But Jumping Armadillo actually really close to saving that. Going for the squishy save. Quite the effort coming out for ICCU this round. Now already Jumping might have a shot. I know it's going to be Frisky just a bit off before he gets bumped off by Hoosh. Durtho now has control, setting it off. Baynock just a bit too far off. Now from the ceiling, gets the touch in the middle. Liquidy not going to play to it. Gets all the free room, gets one touch. Might be going for a 50 here. Gets it underneath Baynock. Now Jumping with the pass, might be about mid. Nobody from ICCU is quite going to be able to follow up.
He gets the first touch on that. He's going to get his second around the corner, and almost an own goal scored by Jumping. But it is going to turn into a clear. All the Broncos are converging around their goal. They're not going to need to play much defense as they move up, leave it for Hoosh. Durtho now with the follow-up. Can Baynock score? He can indeed.
A much better effort coming out from ICCU. Does end up playing. I do see some backboard defense, so I love to see that, but just an unfortunate touch coming from Liquidy. I bet if Liquidy had the faster reaction time, just would have been able to get the clear, but you know, that's Rocket League play right there. Just, you sometimes just aren't able to control it.
Baynock gets key victory on that kickoff. All in favor of him, leaving it wide open for Durtho. Now Hoosh. Shot is just going to go left wide. Liquidity looking to recover, but Durtho to steal it away. Leave it, he might just going to let it trickle in there for his hat trick.
With a much bigger map like this, being that octagon shape, I imagine it's a little weirder to adjust to the level of boost that you use and your rotations. It's so much faster than it is on that regular map than you realize, so where when you move to a different scenario, it shakes you out of your comfortability a little bit. So it's both an adjustment for Boise State and ICCU.
Baynock grounds it, leaves it for Hoosh, but Hoosh isn't able to get it since Liquidity spikes it over his head. Ball's gonna very gingerly head back to mid, and the 50-50 not in favor of either. Ball just gets pinched over to the side. Liquidity is unable to elevate up, so it goes to Frisky.
Gotta be a little creative with the touch here. Durtho is going to send it off to the side. Baynock now with the touch onto the net. Sending it to a back pass here. Hoosh now has control of the ball, doesn't quite get it though. Liquidy now has it going to send it to the side, most likely for a self setup. Hoosh is going to beat him to the ceiling. Jumping Armadillo is now up, beat by Baynock. This means Hoosh is going to have the first touch here, but Frisky's going to beat it there. Liquidy now with all the control, and only Durtho standing in his way. Oh, almost gets the pinch onto the net. Baynock might touch down, Jumping almost at the shot, doesn't quite get it though. Will Liquidy be there? Nope. He's going to be sent off right back to ICCU side.
Off the backboard left for Boise State, but Jumping makes a last-minute play to push it back to center. Frisky's just going to hit a long lob over to where Durtho is. Durtho grounds it. Hoosh takes control. passing it back and forth. Frisky is going to set it up for themselves. Can jumping follow up? He gets it to center. Tries to leave it for Liquidity, but Liquidity whiffs on that. So ICCU is left playing defense yet again.
Ooh, what a pinch come out there. And the good little control come out from jumping out of the I do want to mention there. Dirtho now getting the touch up. It's going to have control of the ball. Baynock getting a demo onto Frisky. Getting his double flipper set. Doesn't quite get it though. Now they got to clear it. It's all on them. Jumping Armadillo is not going to be able to carry it much, but Baynock's going to keep it up.
And that's going to be it.
Quite, don't know. Yeah, that should be the end of the game right there. A 5-1 game for Boise State. And with the Idaho Army National Guard is a proud supporter of the Boise State Esports. Top players are represented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 job offerings, a $20K bonus, and a degree of paid choice. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out on their Twitch at idardgaming.com. Well, quite the game coming out there, and an interesting little wrench thrown into there, as you mentioned. I mean, an octagon, not really seeing the traditional competitive format, and I believe is a little bit of a learning curve for both ICCU and Boise State.
Yeah, if there's one thing that stays constant in Rocket League is a lot of players depend on that arena always being the same shape so that they know exactly what angles they need to set up and where the shot's going to go. I remember when Neo Tokyo first released, it actually had 2 levels to the map, and a lot of people really didn't like that because it just messed up everything that they had memorized about it. So they changed it to the standard shape, so seeing how both these teams adjusted to a non-standard arena was pretty cool. I wonder if there are any other surprises that wait for us. Instead, we're going back to a standard shape, but heading out into the desert.
This map is also quite known to be a little disliked by the Rocket League community. Just, it can be, a lot of players complain it can be a little too bright. So you can definitely see that if your video settings are a bit too high, but I think that's more of a client-side-ended thing than a developer issue.
Baynock's going to let it fall to the ground. Dirtho goes flying past it. Hoosh gets a pinch off the wall. Dirtho's going to center it around the corner to Hoosh for the goal, and Hoosh scores.
Just meeting all the players above there. There's Hoosh's. Hoosh actually hasn't been too present in the series so far. I believe it's one of his first goals coming into the series, so it's great to see a player like that make an entrance that way. Now they have the kickoff. It's going to be Dirtho, but Frisky is going to get the W here for the kickoff. Hoosh now the setup to Baynock. Might get a pincher, and Baynock, or I believe it's Dirtho. Yeah, that is Dirtho making the middle base shot for them. That's just a simple little in-air pass there. Nothing too complex for these guys, but they are going to make it work out at the end.
Now with Boise State leading 2-0, we have yet for a minute to pass. Jumping gets the first touch for ICCU, something they've done a lot, but Boise State quickly answers back with Hoosh with the pass over to Dirtho. It's just a little bit too far up, so Jumping is able to get control and is credited with the save. Hoosh around the corner, leave it for Dirtho. It's an odd angle. Can they dunk it down? Boise State is just going to be facing geometry on that one and not able to score.
Ooh, Liquidy did have the opportunity to score for them, but did not quite get it, but now it's a touch again. Frisky's now going to wait, does get the backflip. Now it's an open net for ICCU, not going to quite get it. Liquidy actually, ooh, but Baynock is going to be there to save it, but not before Jumping gets a shot on the crossbar. Is nobody's friend, and particularly Boise State friends right now, but just give it a moment and it'll pay back in karma. But Baynock now at the touch. Hoosh not going to be able to commit to it quite early. Dirtho getting the touch for them. Frisky is there to contest it. Not before Dirtho takes another shot. And Frisky with the second save. They're just going to give it to Liquid.
Boise State is left chasing after the ball into their own territory. Hoosh looks to pass to either Dirtho or Baynock. He chooses Dirtho. Dirtho gets a shot. It's going to bounce off the left side. Baynock fighting back in center, but it's going to get pushed out of the way. Dirtho is able to rotate back in time. Hoosh continuing the play up the wall, but Liquidity is answering them at midfield again and getting the side control for ICCU.
Ooh, quite the open net. Dirtho does manage to rotate in time. That's Baynock up front with the pass into Hoosh. Hoosh with the shot just barely off, and Dirtho with the cleanup, not able to quite get it, and Baynock as well. 3 of the Boise State defenders not willing to commit to that ball entirely and missing. They almost got scored on because of that small little mistake. Dirt the pass. Hoosh might be the first one to respond here. Does get it shot just off the sidewall with Frisky getting the save. They're not now on the solo plate. Frisky's going to send it over Boise State corner. Hoosh will most likely attempt to catch this. Doesn't quite get it. Jumping around to deal with the pass through the corner. Now it's off to Hoosh and Baynock. Gonna try and go for a little pinch action here, but doesn't. Now Boise State defenders are out of position here.
Hoosh just beats ICCU on that very quick 50. Is able to leave it for Baynock. Now the pass over to Durtho is not going to be found in mid. So Boise State is still left looking for their third goal. Hoosh plays it off the wall. Might try to play himself. Leaves it for Baynock. Baynock finds the upper right corner.
Putting it top right bins there. It's just, what a beautiful little passing sequence for Hoosh and Baynock. These two teammates definitely know how to cooperate with each other well. And just, what a beautiful little touch coming out from Baynock.
1 minute, 40 seconds left, and Boise State has a 3-0 lead. Baynock's going to continue on the rally by passing it up to Hoosh. They pass it back and forth. It's a pass between all three of them, and they manage to get their fourth goal.
That is not something you see every day. What a insane angle coming out there from Durtho. Man, that bump set spike really came out from there. Getting a pass. Hey, there's that passing play you're talking about. It did not touch the ground. If that's one play they should get credit for, that is that.
So they're looking for another play as Durtho tries to send it over toward Baynock, who I think tried to dunk it down, didn't find the goal. Frenzy pushes it back into Boise State's side. Baynock passes over to Durtho. They're just going to play off the wall. That's 1, 2, and 3. Can they score now? It's just up to Durtho. He can't beat Frisky. It's just enough of a pain to keep Boise State from scoring their fifth.
Liquidy and Jumping Armadillo have a little bit of pass themselves. Frisky now up for the defense. Doesn't quite get over it. Durtho now having quite a few touches. Jumping, just barely missing. It's off to Frisky now. Can Frisky, and Frisky gets a touch with Hoosh to save the ball.
Durtho leaves it for Hoosh, quickly pushed to the side by Liquidity.
Frisky getting around Hoosh. Gets an interesting little 50 with Durtho there. Liquidy now in control of the ball. Good little control. Doesn't quite get the second touch looking for. Durtho's up. Doesn't get it. There's Hoosh to save the day. And that makes the score, I believe, 5-0 for Boise State.
And this is just great team play, even though Durtho didn't quite get it. Hoosh was there as the backup. Jumping basically couldn't have any forward momentum. Made it really hard for him to elevate up in the center. That just led to Boise State's 5th goal now.
If there was one piece of advice that I'd give to ICCU's Rocky League team is play in the backboard a little more. You know, having 3 people in net is really great, but just as I say that though, Liquidity is going to answer back with this corner little bounce that we have here. The pinch from Hoosh and Jumping Armadillo is just going to set up Liquidity perfect and just going to beat Hoosh to the ball there.
Boise State going to pay there with a little bit of mispositioning. At least ICCU gets 1 goal to boost their morale. We have only 13 seconds left in this match, however. Hoosh is going to try one last rally over Baynock, who just kind of erases that last-minute goal from ICCU.
What a valiant attempt, and what an amazing passing sequence coming out from the Boise State Baynock and Hoosh here. Definitely shows the expertise that these guys have. And 6-1 here.
One final kickoff, less than 10 seconds on the timer. Durtho gets a small tap. The ball has a lot of verticality, but not that much speed. That just leaves it for Boise State to ground it, and they will have won this next game. Plays it over ICCU. I think they're going to go for the final goal. It's wide open. Why not? And they just played with their food a little bit more because they wanted to make it a true Brazil.
They did want to make it a true Brazil, you know. If you had the opportunity, why not take it there? There was an opportunity for ICCU once upon a time, but that chapter got closed very quickly by Boise State's defense. Now, naturally, that would be the end for the series. In a best-of-3 series, or best-of-5, naturally. But this is Boise State, and it's Broncos versus Bankers, so why not throw a little bit of fun into it? And we're going to have a 4th game for you. Now, I'm not going to say what the 4th game is. I'm going to leave it until we get there, because I think it's a little surprise. I personally love this game mode. So, you know, we're going to see what it gets to, right?
It's not personally my favorite game mode to watch, but anything, you know, to change up from just the usual standard soccer that we see in Rocket League is a welcome change. So we'll see if ICCU can turn things around. Maybe all they needed was a non-standard game mode, and they'll find a win against the Broncos.
Who knows? That's you know, you would be surprised by the amount of people.
Yeah, this is the best of 5 has been decided, and we're just going into a bonus round for fun, just to show. But that officially makes it so Boise State wins all 4 games. So they have basically guaranteed at the end of day 2 of Bankers versus Broncos that they are going to win the majority of the games.
Oh yeah, that definitely means the majority. It's a switch on the story that was last semester, right? And it's a welcome come for Boise State, right? We did not perform amazingly last semester, so we're very excited to have a redemption arc, so to speak, for us here, and we take a lot of pride by winning a lot here on this desk. So, you know,
but
it's
now
a welcome W.
Now that the redemption arc has been fulfilled, let's see what's going to be brought in for this special exhibition match against Team Green and the Boise State Broncos. We are going into Heat Seeker.
Oh, man. What a map. Oh, I thought it was about to go in the net for ICCU. And the more times you hit this ball, the more it speeds up. And reading those arcs, and already Boise State is already playing some trickery with Dirtha on the end. Trying to get some touches there, just going to throw off ICCU's original direction, of course. A bump. On to, I believe that was Hush, is actually going to set up ICCU for the first goal of the game.
Just sometimes how it works. It's just a shot off the backboard ultimately curves back toward ICCU's target. Sometimes that can just happen in Heat Seeker. Just let that ball be your best friend.
But that's a legitimate strategy there. Be a nuisance in the other team's backboard. Oh, what a shot coming out from Dirtho. But if you can continue to just be an annoyance right there, you might create more openings than what you expect.
Baynock with the shot is going to be saved by jumping. Hoosh gets the tap on it, so it goes flying back toward Team Green's goal. Can Boise State get another tap? They do! And it rockets, boomerangs back to Team Green.
Nobody quite able to put anything on net so far. It's all been backboard shots coming out from the Heat Seeker ball here. That might be the first one. Baynock is going to go ahead and clear it, though. Frisky's going to get a touch. Hoosh just barely catching up to it. That's danger for ICCU. Hoosh missing, and that means Frisky's going to get the unintentional goal, but a goal nonetheless for ICCU.
Yeah, all they needed was this game mode. Hoosh gets one tap on it, but it's a lot like ping pong. You just need to answer back the rally from the other team. Boise State doesn't get a tap, so the ball just naturally glides into their goal. ICCU leading 2-0.
As that ball picks up speed, it's so much harder to read it. And this isn't a game mode where, you know, much like a regular match, where it's a lot easier to read the ball. It's a lot harder.
Boise State is going to be able to read it there and save. That's Dirtho. Hoosh actually credited with the save, getting the first goal for Boise State.
There it is. Boise State getting a little bit, you know, a little bit back. Frisky does get a misread on the ball, but, you know, it's 2-1 for ICCU. There's still a lot of game left, and what we've seen, ICCU has their fair share of luck in this game mode.
Quiddity with the tap. It's going to be up to Hoosh answer back. He gets what he's looking for. Dirtho to redirect down into the goal. Jumping is going to be credited with the save. Baynock has now gotten the ball back to Blue, and a spike down, up into the crossbar. It still goes into the goal.
Oh, man. There's Dirtho showing up a little bit of that aerial skill that he's very well known for, and we all know this already, so let's just go ahead and move on to the next goal that ICCU is going to get.
It is all tied up again. Broncos and Team Green even. A shot from Dirtho is going to be dunked down by Hoosh. A beautiful redirect, and the Broncos now take the lead.
Switching sides a little bit here, Dirtho being the passer, and Hoosh showing off a little bit of his acrobatic skills. If we said Dirtho can do it, then he's going to answer back and say, so can I.
Ball is first going to be left for ICCU to get the opening volley. Answered by Dirtho. Jumping gets a touch. Dirtho again, kind of a double touch. Leaving it for Baynock. The angle just isn't right. ICCU answers back. Back and forth. Durtho gets the other tap. Uh-oh. Baynock almost putting a bit of pressure for Boise State, making the ball head back toward their goal. Now Durtho has redirected it toward the goal, and it's just a bit too high and wide.
That ball definitely picked up its speed from the very beginning. Oh, Baynock almost getting a dunk of his own. Durtho's going to get a save here. Oh, there's a speed and curve on the ball there. Who can read that? Honestly, if you can read that and make the save, you have the eyes of a demigod. Oh, and Liquidity just so close to saving that, going for the squishy save once again. That's twice now Liquidity's been so close to just getting the save. Now it's up to ICCU to set it for the first. Durtho's going to go for the pass.
Baynock slight redirect almost adjusts the curve of the ball to head into the goal, but it's not going to find it. Liquidity barely gets a tap, leaving it for jumping. Durtho answers back toward Boise State's goal. It's bouncing off all the walls. And ICCU is unable to redirect it into Boise State's goal, so it goes back to the Broncos. Actually, a full arc curve back into Boise State, ICCU's own territory. They're looking to just get a clear, if you could call it that.
Ooh, Baynock getting a little cut on the ball there. Isn't going to quite get it in. But it's just going back and forth now. Oh, Liquidity! With the touch there, it gets it around, not only getting the demo, but just getting this small, slight touch. That's all it's going to take for Liquidity to put this game in a one-goal lead for Boise State.
Unfortunately, I would rather have him try to just go for the save than just not go for it at all. He tried, but the ball was just too fast. So now, Boise State has the slight lead. They answer back this volley. Liquidity now sends it back toward Boise State's goal. The ball already has a lot of curve. Baynock to redirect off the crossbar. And Boise State is still looking to open this up even more.
Two people back for Boise State. Baynock still sitting in the back. Baynock gets a demo on Liquidity. But this means Frisky's playing pretty far up as well. A lot of the touches Baynock's getting are not paying off, as Hushi's and Durtho's did. A little bit of back and forth so far. Pretty good rally coming out from both sides. No interesting little shots. The demo coming out from Frisky out to Durtho. Definitely gave him an opening, but Hushi's going to save that. Durtho back with the pass. Corner shot. Isn't going to quite make it, though.
Now that ball is going lightning pace. They can't defend against Durtho's shot from midfield. Really, it's, at this point, it's just a game of make sure you just at least touch the ball. So
yeah,
the aim assist, if you will, kicks in.
Controller aim assist. Do we have any keyboard and mouse players playing Rocket League right now?
I don't know.
This is the one game where you can't blame it on controllers for.
No, you can't. You just got to try to get the touch, as Durtho does. Now the ball goes rocketing back to ICCU's goal. Can Frisky get a touch? It's not enough. Almost scoring.
Oh, but there's Baynock. Baynock getting his redirect as well. It seems that Boise State players are taking turns getting their fair share of cool little tricky plays that he gets, and there's Baynock's share of it. So I believe that makes it 6-3. Yeah, 6-3 for Boise State in the lead.
But everything's kind of up in the air with the different rules of play.
Yep.
Hoosh gets one tap. Now it's back to Liquidity. He gets it. Hoosh pushes it back toward the goal. Baynock finds it. Durtho's just going to hang back for defense. Wait till he gets his touch and he gets it there.
Gonna bounce up the wall. Is somebody back? That is Durtho back for it. Liquidity barely getting a touch onto the ball. Hoosh is going to drop down. Not quite get it. There's Baynock still in ICU's territory. Looking for whatever creative touch he can get. There's Hoosh with the save. Baynock does miss, and that leaves an opening. Hoosh. A little bit of work from Baynock faking out the ICU players.
Yeah, good job. Just kind of being enough of an interference that they don't quite read the angle correctly. Boise State is going to end it right then and there. But ICCU having the best performance, I guess we'll just give it to them. I don't know what the game. You know what? They got a victory in one of the stats. Sure, it's tied 0-0, but the bar is over on their side for Boost Use, so I'll give it to them.
Oh yeah, they did. You know, whatever dub they can get in any way, they did get some pretty good shots.
Right.
I will mention that. That was probably their best performance so far, and you know, while it was pretty one-sided still, but you know, it's overall in the end, what a good show by them.
So now's the chance that we get to decide who is going to be player of the game, and basically have 3 choices to choose from.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about Rocket League is kind of our roster is already completely set up for us. So it is either going to be Durtho, of course,
Which is, the obvious pick.
makes the most flashy solo plays, gets triple touches into the goal, hardly needs any follow-up. He's just got it all himself.
But there is Hoosh. It's actually Liquidity. That's going to be our second choice here, which Liquidity, yes, I do agree with that. I think Liquidity was ICCU's star player there. Definitely looked the most mechanically sound and game sense sound as well. Was definitely a star player to be sure of.
Yeah, great job for ICCU. If they were trying to rally, he was usually the one behind it. And they also might give it to Jumping Armadillo, who had a few good goals in Heat Seeker. This was really the mode where ICCU came most alive. They opened it up with a lead, actually, in the beginning. But Boise State was overall able to equalize it and get the goal get the lead themselves. Still some great play from Jumping. I can almost think that I'm feeling a bit of a generous aura here from production, and they might give it to ICCU.
Yeah, I'm feeling that a little well, which I am going to stick with the idea that it is going to be a ICCU player.
No, it's actually, I mean, can you really give it to anyone else but Durtho? I mean, this guy is so serious about his Rocket League game. He's always looking to improve. Even if it's like the most casual of a scrim game, he's in it to win it. He always has a competition mindset, and you can see it with how much he applies himself.
Oh, yeah, Durtho is always going to be a menace on this team and definitely a player to always keep your eye on. And the ICCU Player of the Game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's credit union, helping members achieve financial success. It is the Idaho Central's Credit Union Player of the Game. That is Durtho for you guys.
So great way to overall end the night. Boise State now goes to 4 games, 1 out of 5. So they're going to be going into the final stretch of this Bankers versus Broncos with their head held high and basically playing with house money at this point. Just going to be looking to make the margin even greater.
Oh, yeah. I think Boise State's going to keep on pushing. But the other 2 games are Overwatch and Madden, which we know Madden should be a relatively shut-down game as well. We know Wasey, right? We've already discovered that several times. We don't need to go over it again. However, though, what we do know as an unknown factor is Overwatch. I do believe we have quite a few varsity players playing on that team as well. But in terms of Overwatch, we didn't see Overwatch last semester. So there's the sort of fog of war that clouds Idaho Central Credit Union's Overwatch team. So are they going to make that comeback there?
Well, you're just going to have to tune in next time to find out. And I believe that's going to be Monday.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have those 2 games Monday for you. Finish out with Madden should be first, and then Overwatch should be our closer out for this Bankers versus Broncos. However, though, for tonight, we are going to leave you with the top 5. The top 5 is brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, which is always looking for players that are interested in. The Idaho Army National Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State's esports. Top plays are presented by Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 job offerings with a $20K bonus and a degree of your choice paid for. The Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to them at Twitch or idargaming.com.
That's going to do it. From Hoosh, but a whiff from Hoosh, but it's not really going to be that consequential, especially if Durtho is your follow-up. He plays it himself, a triple tap into the goal, picking up a hat trick as well.
Just sets himself up there perfectly, gets the first touch. The second touch was an absolute devastating touch. Nobody there. Isn't going to try to get it in. But it's just going back and forth now. Oh, Liquidity! With the touch there, it gets it around, not only getting the demo, but just getting this small, slight touch. That's all it's going to take for Liquidity to put this game in a 1-goal lead for Boise State.
Right in front of ICCU's goals, both Boise State players go whipping past it. The goal is left open, and Liquidity is going to score on it, leaving it at tied for Boise State and ICCU. So a great breakaway shot, sees his opportunity to score on the over rotation, and he finds it. Defense defense as they move up, leave it for Hoosh. Durtho now with the follow-up. Can Baynock score? He can indeed.
A much better effort coming out from ICCU. Does end up playing. I do see some backboard defense, so I love to see that, but just an unfortunate touch coming from Liquidy. I bet if Liquidy had the faster reaction time, just would have been able to get the complete score goal, or else it will not count in their terms. They got 2. Ooh, well, Durtho gets the touch, and Hoosh with the absolute big brain bump there. The pass from Durtho to Hoosh back to Baynock, and that just lets Durtho just get this.
I don't know. The ball did hit the ground between Hoosh and Baynock, so